We ready? Welcome to Kicks Minivans, the podcast for dads who love sneakers. I am your host, KG, joined by my beautiful wife, Rebecca, Becky, Mrs. Kicks. Hey, thank you guys so much for all your love and support all season long. This is the final episode of season 2. We are breaking for the summer because your boy is tired and needs a break and needs some rest. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But before we do that, there's a thing going around. This, like, I don't know, a trend where Gen Z, which first off, it hurts me that millennials are not the youngest adults anymore. It makes me feel aged and old that we are not the eldest or the youngest adults anymore. We're now like the old people according to Gen Z. But there's a thing where Gen Z is determining if you're over or under 30 based on the socks that you wear. And as a podcast for dads centered around sneakers, I'm like, we gotta talk about it a little bit. So the thing is Gen Z says if you are over 30, specifically at the gym, but then I think they expanded it, but they said if you're over 30, you're wearing ankle socks, and if you're under 30, you're wearing crew socks. So like coming up the ankle a little bit, like up the shin a little bit for you millennials that might not know what a crew sock is. But apparently, so what are your thoughts on this? Because you wear a little bit of both.
I do.
What are your thoughts on this? I'm like mostly crew socks. But like I did the ankle socks for like a little bit because when we were in high school, crew socks were corny. Mm-hmm. Like they were dumb. Like they were like the socks that your dad wore.
Yes.
Right? And like I did the ankle socks for a little bit because it was like the in thing, but I was like, these feel weird. I feel naked. I feel like exposed. My ankles are cold. Like I just didn't like it. And so I have crew socks. I do have some ankle socks that I wear occasionally, but not very often. It's like if I go running, which is very rare that I go for a run. But it's like I wear ankle socks when it's very hot, and that's about it. Otherwise, like catch me in crew socks. So, yeah. But I'm almost 34.
But basketball socks resemble not ankle socks, crew socks more.
Yes.
And you love your basketball socks.
I do. Now, I think this is interesting too. I feel like the bar is a little bit older than me, but I feel like it's like guys over 40 wear ankle socks or like really low cut socks
like that
with basketball shoes still when they're playing basketball. And it's like guys under 40 are wearing higher basketball socks. So like I wear the higher basketball socks, but I feel like it's like there's that divide still, but the age is a little higher than it is just for like typical gym goers.
I did not know that.
Well, I played basketball with a lot of guys in a wide range of ages. Like the places I play, like you got 20-year-olds out there and 50-year-olds out there. And so, but yeah, it's interesting to see like the age demographic with the sock thing. Like I didn't know that this was a thing, but it totally is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I agree. It's a thing. I mostly live in ankle socks. I'm a little bit scarred from even like the higher, they're not even high socks. I was weird in elementary for doing the like all the way up the calf socks with the toe socks. Did you ever have toe socks?
No, that always weirded me out.
I wore toe socks with flip-flops daily. And somehow we still ended up together.
I like put a pair of them on one time and was immediately no. And I didn't think I'd like it, but I was like, I'll try it. Nope.
My mom had to like rip them off me to wash them. And they were the spongy flip-flops. You remember those that looked like a sponge at the bottom?
Did like your
like
feet
a sea
sink
creature?
Into it? No, don't know.
They were bright yellow, and I wore them. I shouldn't admit this to your fan girl.
You are painting a picture right now.
But I
married her by choice. You were not like that when I met you.
I was not like that. This was like elementary me, okay? Once middle school hit, that phase was over. But they were monkeys and frogs.
Yeah. Monkeys and frogs. Hey, you know what? You're elementary. It's
do what you want.
You can't judge someone based on what they did in 4th grade.
So anyways, I love a crew sock for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
When I have my grout fit, all I want are my crew socks. You can't see that I'm wearing them.
Yeah.
But I'm extra cozy in them. And then everything else is ankle socks. But I get hot. Like, my feet get hot.
But see, like, right now you have pants and you have ankle socks. And, like, you have, like, 2 inches on your ankle that's, like, showing. That drives me nuts. I cannot stand wearing ankle socks with joggers. Like, especially if it's joggers where it clings to your ankle a little bit. Like, and then you have, like, that much of it exposed. That just drives me nuts. Like, all the air hitting it and you're, like, 2 inches of ankle getting chilly and stuff. Like, I gotta have the crew socks. I don't wear the crew socks over the joggers, though. I feel like that's a female thing strictly.
It is. And then that feels excessive. It feels tight. They're sticking. I can feel them rubbing.
Like
There's friction.
Got the socks under the pant leg, but still, like, I gotta go with crew socks. If I had to choose just one, it's crew socks, easy.
Yeah.
It's crew socks. If you had to choose just one, crew or ankle.
But see, here's the thing. I feel like I'm short. So a crew sock on me goes up to my mid-calf. I've always...
Here I am checking how
had...
It's like a third of the way up my calf, I guess.
Sturdier calves.
Sturdier calves.
So I'm self-conscious about my calves.
I did not mean to open up this...
feminine. See, these are my insecurities coming out now on your show.
I didn't know we were gonna go there. I didn't know the toe sock and sandal flip-flop thing was coming out. I didn't know any of that. But
for that reason, I stick with ankle socks to make the more slender appearance.
More slender, okay.
More appealing to the eye.
More aesthetically appealing.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. I don't know.
And I don't feel like my shoes go with.
There's a big thing with the shoes.
I don't have the right shoes for it.
It's a big thing with the shoes that you're wearing too, because like, I will not. Sometimes a pair of Jordan 1 lows or a pair of Jordan 3s, I might do a lower sock if it's like a really hot day. If we're going to be outside and it's like 90 degrees, like I'll probably do a ankle sock. But most of the time, even if I'm wearing shorts, with some of my Jordans that I would wear, like I'm still doing a crew sock.
I also don't want a tan line for my socks.
That's valid. I don't care about my tan lines that much. Okay. So I don't know. All right, let's transition. We're not doing a draft tonight, but we are gonna do a blind ranking. So the way that this works is I'm gonna give you 5 things in this category, and you need to blind rank them 1 to 5. With 1 for this is going to be 1 is the worst.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And 5 is the best. You need to blind rank them 1 to 5 without knowing what comes next. These are blind ranking parent nightmares.
Ooh.
Now, I want to say this is lighthearted stuff. This is not like you lost a child got terminally sick. Like, none of that stuff, right? Like, this is lighthearted. We're having fun stuff. All right.
Bonus. Your viewers can guess if this has actually happened or not.
One of these has happened, but not to you.
4 truths and a lie.
So
the
first one is the one that I know I've dealt with.
Okay.
The first one, a baby blowout on a road trip.
Ooh.
Where would you rank that 1 to 5?
See, a road trip, you're stuck. You have no way to really wash the car seat.
But you don't know what I have coming next.
I not. I don't think you did it. You had a blowout, but you had the vomit.
Oh, I had the vomit. It wasn't a blowout. It was vomit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Surprise. That's the one.
Oh, stuck in traffic on I-69. I haven't had the blowout on a road trip like that, but it was the vomit, which
I think there's ways you can manage on a road trip. See, on road trips, you're kind of in survival mode anyways.
True.
You're like, let's just get there all in one piece.
Especially with toddlers, yeah, and babies.
I'm going to say 3.
3? Right in the middle?
Right in the middle.
Safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might regret that later.
That's fair. We'll see. All right, number 2, or the second one. Your kid wets the bed, and they're in your bed.
It's just that's annoying.
It's disgusting.
I guess it depends how close you're sleeping.
Like the whole bed is soaked. And you and I and the child is in there. Like, like that's like you wake up wet from not your bodily fluids.
Yeah. See, I'm a nurse, so pee doesn't scare me. I'd say it's annoying. It's gross. I've been covered in puke before, and it took me a while to get to the shower. Because other things had to be done. I'm going to give that a 4.
4?
It's wildly inconvenient, but...
You're the nurse. To me...
I would honestly rather that... Well... I hate cleaning up dog vomit. That's a lot worse than human pee. To me.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just like, what a way to start your day.
Right.
You're going with a 4, though?
4. I'm going to go with a 4.
All right. Next, your kid eats all his Halloween candy on Halloween night. All of it one night. The whole haul.
Sounds like a stomach ache. And a sugar high. A sugar high and then a stomach ache. Jace gets pretty wild after a cupcake.
I remember that Halloween night a couple years ago. He was literally doing flips over me. Like
I was working.
Were you?
I was not there for that, so.
He was. We have videos of that.
Oh, I don't know. I have 1.
You have 1, 2, and 5 left.
And 5. I'll give that a 2 because that probably means they're not going to bed on time.
Yeah. They're waking up in the middle of the night puking.
And then yeah.
This one is an emotional one. Your kid stares you in your eyes and says, bruh. Calls you bruh. Not mama, not mommy. Just, you are now bruh. You have 1 and 5 left.
I would laugh. So I'm going to give that a 5.
You're putting that at 5?
Yeah.
That's safe. I didn't know if the emotional part of that would get you. I also didn't know what numbers you'd have.
If he looked me dead in the eye and said, I hate you.
Well,
that would be a 1.
That's fair.
Bruh, I'm expecting that down the line.
Well, this one, you have 1 left.
Okay.
So.
Is it the worst?
I would have this at 1. Toddler flushes your keys down the toilet.
1. For sure.
So as we go into the summer months, I always like going into the summer months with kind of some sort of goal, something I'm looking towards that I'm focusing on. I don't want to waste an opportunity to grow, to learn, to adapt. And I feel like this whole year has been just kind of learning, growing, and adapting to certain curveballs that have been thrown my way. But as I head into these summer months, there's a couple things where I just kind of look at my own self, look at my own life, and see like, all right, what am I lacking? What am I struggling in? And what do I need to focus on to improve during this next season? And so for me, as I head into this season, this episode is airing on July 4th. You know, we are into summer now. We've had a stretch of 90-degree days here in Indiana, let alone if you live further south than us. But as we are in these summer months, there are 4 different things that I am personally looking to focus on, to grow into, kind of mature in over these next couple months. And so I want to share those. And maybe they'll inspire you, because I'm sure that during these summer months, there's something that you need to personally grow in and focus on. And maybe it's similar to mine, maybe it's different, but I think we can learn from each other with that. And so the first one, this is going to sound cliche, but it's prayer. Just to be upfront, I used to be a pastor, but even as a pastor, I felt like I hit a season where I really struggled with prayer. Like, I don't have the strongest prayer life currently, and it's just an area where, you know, I have felt in recent years like, well, God's going to do what God wants to do, so why should I pray? Not saying that that's right. I'm saying that that's my thought process a lot of times. And I know it's not right in my head, but my heart has a hard time getting there, if that makes sense. And if you were to come to me and you were to say like, KG, I'm struggling with prayer, I just feel like this, and like, I would try to talk you into why you should pray, because I believe we should pray. I believe in the power of prayer. But it's also been this emotional block for me, this spiritual block for me for some reason, where I don't focus the time in prayer that I know I should. And I have all the head reasons that I know why I should pray. But my heart has a hard time getting there. And so that's an area for me personally, spiritually speaking, where I need to devote more time and energy into that, is into my prayer life. Second, and these are all probably linked to that first one, but second is rest. I really struggle with this. I struggle with taking time off. I struggle with taking a break. And right now, your boy needs a break because these kids don't take a day off. These kids are nonstop needy and demanding. And I'm the kind of person where it's like, I add things to my plate until my plate is overwhelmingly full, right? Like I do that out of habit. It's not a great habit, but I do that out of habit. And I have a very hard time stepping back and resting, but God did not create us to grind 24/7, 365. And don't get me wrong, I believe in the grind. I believe that there are seasons in which we should grind. But seasons have a beginning and an ending date. The grind is not meant to last for the rest of your life. God did not create you to grind for your entire life. God created you also to rest, to relax, to recover. My former pastor and boss, Mark Lucinius, one of the things that he said that was super transforming for me, it was a paradigm shift, is he said, we don't rest from work, we work from rest. Let me say that again. We don't rest from work, we work from rest. And that was a paradigm shift for me because I always rested from work. That I would do the work, I would grind, I'd put in all the effort, put in the 100-hour week, and then I could rest. Except there was always something else to do, right? And so it was hard to get that rest. But when we come from a place of rest, when we start there and then let the work flow out of that, I feel like I'm just better in everything. Like I can tell, like I am in a point right now, as I'm recording this podcast, I am at a point right now where I do not feel like I'm a good dad because I know I need some rest. That's just what it is. Like I just know I need rest. And when I get some rest, when I get some time away from my kids, I will come back a better dad. I can work from my rest. I will be a better dad. I'll be a better husband. After I take a couple months resting from this podcast, hopefully I'll come back a better podcast host. We hope, right? But when I take time to rest, I come back better than where I was. First one's prayer, second one's rest, third one is help. This is very closely linked to the rest one, but I felt like it was important enough for me personally. So I can't sweep it under the rug. I need to make it its own thing. I need to ask for help more. I am so bad at this. I think it's a guy thing. I don't think it's just a me thing. I think it's a guy thing. Like I struggle asking for help because I feel like asking for help is vulnerable. It's a sign of weakness. I don't like that. I grew up raised to be not vulnerable. That's a very unnatural thing to me, despite me knowing the benefits of being vulnerable. But asking for help is a very vulnerable thing to me. And so I don't like asking for help. But I need to, because in order for me to rest, I need to get some help. And it's been in that season, there was oftentimes, often in my 20s, if I didn't do something, it's because either I was lazy and I just didn't feel like it. I often forgot. That was a big one for me, is I would just forget stuff. Like people would tell me something and I'd be like, you got to email me. Like work stuff, like people would come up. This was the worst. When I was in ministry, people would come up to me on a Sunday and be like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, yeah, email me. Email me it. They're like, but I'm telling you, like, I will forget it. Email me. Like I had to have, like, you can't tell a pastor something on Sunday and expect them to remember. Like they're so busy. Email them, right? But if I didn't do something before, it's because I forgot or I just didn't feel like it. Now it's like I literally just run out of time in the day. Like I just don't have enough hours in my day to do everything that I know I need to do. And so I need to ask for help. And that's a very vulnerable thing as a dude because we're just raised to figure it out. Like we just figure it out. But I need to ask for help in order to get that rest. So 1, prayer, 2, rest, 3, help, 4, consistency. You don't get fat because you ate a burger one time. You don't get skinny because you ate a salad one time. What you do consistently over the course of time determines your outcome. And so I don't want to just do one great thing one time. I want to consistently do good things. I did not lose 30 pounds because I tracked my macros one day, hit one workout. No, I lost 30 pounds and got in shape because I consistently did that. I did not get out of debt because we didn't go out to eat one time. We got out of debt because we grinded for that season consistently. And when we do good things consistently, they become great. A lot of times the people that we look up to, that we admire, that we aspire to be like, what they have over us is consistency, that they did a thing consistently over the course of time, and we can see the fruit of that for decades. We usually don't see the consistency that they put in. We don't see all the hours that Bezos, whatever you think about him, we don't see all the hours that he put in back in 1999 when he was selling books out of his garage or whatever he was doing. Like, we don't see that. We might see a picture, but we don't see all the late nights. We don't see the consistency that these guys put in. And so for me, I want to be consistent, not just in my work and stuff I do, but I want to be consistently a good dad, consistently a good husband, consistently a good friend, a good brother. I want to do these things consistently, because you're not a good dad because you showed up one time. You're a good dad because you continue to show up time after time after time. And so those are my 4 things that I am focusing on this summer: prayer, rest, help, consistency. And so whatever it looks like for you, if 1 or 2 of those things is hitting for you, if all 4 of them, if you got other things in general that you need to focus on, and whatever it is that you need to focus on, take time this season, write it out if you need to. I'm a believer in sometimes writing things out, visualizing it helps us make it a reality. Whatever it is for you guys, hope you can focus in, grow this summer as a person, as a father, as a husband. Until next time, until this fall, take care of yourself, take care of your family. This is Kicks and Minivans. Appreciate the love, y'all.